Isn't it ironic that hundreds of years after slavery, African Americans still have little knowledge about their heritage from Africa? Because of this loss of identity, a large portion of the African American population are often perceived as inferior, since all we know is that our ancestors were slaves. Another irony is that regardless of the little we know about our ancestors, statistics show that people of color have historically been spiritual. A 2009 study published by the Pew Research Center found that African Americans are markedly more religious than the U.S. population as a whole. The study found that 87% of African Americans reported belonging to a formal religious affiliation. In this documentary, we will attempt to find a connection between religiosity and cultural heritage. And again, we will go back to our ancestors in Africa. Rabbi Funnye gives his opinion about the issue.
Many of the Africans that suffered through the Middle Passage were what I would define as biblical Hebrews in their practice. If Jews happened to own Africans as slaves, some of them would circumcise the Africans. But some of them saw that they were already circumcised because there was a practice amongst the Igbo and the Igbo people to circumcise their sons on the 8th day, as the Bible tells us in the book of Genesis. So effectively, Africans who may have been Jews, may have been Muslims, were in fact brought into this hemisphere and effectively had their culture, their language, and their religion stripped from them, and were inundated with what we call Christianity today. And so in the case of African American Jews, we see ourselves as returning to the faith of our forefathers before the advent of the Middle Passage, and our mothers and fathers being transported into the Western Hemisphere and put in servitude. So there's definitely connectors, remnants of remembrance of cultures, and not a lot of it, just a little of it.
Right.
But it only takes a few sparks,
Right.
to cause a flame to come up.
Yes.
And the sparks of Judaism have burned in the hearts and minds of men and women of African descent for well over 200 years, or ever since America itself has been here. A yearning to return to the faith that we believe our forebears were practitioners of. But we do believe that they were a part of the house of Israel, the children of Israel.
This has been a presentation from Prophetic Productions. Thanks for watching.